It's easy to get overwhelmed and make mistakes in the process as you're in those early stages. Even I made a lot of mistakes along this road. I am going to tell you what mistakes we shouldn't make as beginners. Now that I've looked at other concepts of this nature, there are things I wish I knew before building a collection. Without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Unrealistic expectations of accuracy. When you're first getting into watches, you're coming into a world that is dealing with technology and types of an art form that is not going to necessarily appeal to the greatest modern innovations. So, when you come in, you have this preconceived idea of this is my life with my watch. I know that exact time you're looking at getting a mechanical watch, you see the price, and you think I can expect this thing to be fairly accurate, which is a reasonable assumption. I find most people don't know what could be deemed acceptable. When it comes to ranges of deviation for accuracy, let's look at an entry-level option with media. There are 8 series movements that are very popular and found in many watches under $500 range of deviation. What I find is they'll say, hey, this watch is running 30 seconds fast a day, and they may have an entry-level movement or a Seiko movement, and the reality is there's nothing wrong with that movement. I think this is moreover the case when you're getting into those affordable watches and you're just expecting this amazing performance out of the box, which in most cases is just not going to happen. These affordable watches are just going to be mass-produced. They are not going to have the same level of accuracy at the end of the day. Viewing affordable watches as investments. Next, we have thought that an affordable watch or any watch is going to be an investment, and I don't want to say that this is not possible. Some watches will appreciate, but 98 to 99% of the market, if you're talking about everything from designer watches up to the most luxury independent brands, I would say 98% are going to act more like the car market than they are going to be other forms of investment, meaning that once you buy a watch, chances are your watch is going to dip in value immediately. Some of them are going to hold their value more than others, but mostly there are a few brands that are responsible for actually seeing any type of appreciation. This is the time when a lot of people will say there is a lot more going on. I would like to say that it comes down to the brands that do the best when it comes to just appreciating, such as Rolex and Patek, and then some other independent brands like Richard Mille. There is also no proof of how this is going to continue as we move forward in the watch market. Thinking you are stuck with a strap. Most people first look into the watch as a strap or the bracelet that is attached to the watch, and some people would like to change their strap a couple of months after buying it. This discovery made me realize that a lot of people don't recognize that you can change out your strap when you're looking to buy a watch. You have to develop an expectation and almost an ability to visualize. But how does a watch change with a different strap on it? This will come in 2 different phases. One is how would that look with a NATO strap? How would that look with a different leather strap in a different style? Style also may be factoring in how the structure of the lug and where the strap would maybe actually fit within those lugs. This is a major factor in the case profiles. Online, they have longer lugs, which makes one think, how can you visualize? Buying impulsively. When you're early on buying impulsively, you start to develop a new passion. It's very easy to get caught up in just spending a lot of money all at once, and you feel like you have to just develop this impeccable taste and just keep going. Excitement can create impulsiveness when it comes to buying, and this could be a really difficult thing to overcome as time goes on. A couple of things can happen, and your tastes are just going to change. So, you end up just buying so much when maybe your knowledge level is not where it should be to be able to make these decisions in a proper way. And in the end, you feel like you have all these watches that you don't like, and then you're stuck in this situation. It's not a pretty picture. I don't know how to move on from them, and I don't know where to go from here. That is when you have all this confusion around your collecting journey. I think you're especially susceptible, knowing that your taste will change, and also just understanding the idea that refinement in a great collection only comes after you work on it. Having a limited understanding of dimensions. Having a limited understanding of dimensions and knowing what works for you is important. So, what I usually do is I stay true to just my taste and my range of sizes that work well for me. I have expanded as I've been able to handle more and more watches over the years, but it was always good and helpful for me to be able to try to make that mistake. At the end of the day, it's always great to make this mistake without having to buy an extreme premium to understand your watch size and your preferences for your wrist size. Since most people go to buy watches online, and I think this is going to continue in the coming years, you really want to know what your preferred sizes are and just look at your collection. Look what fits you well. Think of features like dial, the bezel ratio lug to lug. Also think about the actual watch itself and what features, or what it really is, its intended purpose. A fleeker watch should look different than a dress watch. All of this helps build that context around what your preferred dimension set is going to be. I believe it's good to keep an outline on what you prefer, but also don't be so stringent here. Keep it a little fluid, understand the things you like and you don't like. Test out different things within your own collection, or just try some things on and see what you like. This will help you figure out the sizes of those watches or try things on in a store and then go on the internet and just cross-reference watches. Keep in mind the ones that fit really well. Keep a check in your size dimension set, too. In the end, it's really just up to your preference, style, and affordability. Get something you truly enjoy. Buying to be accepted by the community. Sometimes people will suggest you buy a certain kind of brand or model, but I would just like to say, ignore those people. I think at the end of the day, you have to buy what you want, and you can't get caught up in this idea that there's this watch that's like a rite of passage to become a collector that you have to own, or you need to have a certain type of collection that is correct, or you need to own one of everything. Believing that you need to be a collector to be accepted by society or a peer group makes no sense at all. This could be a type of peer pressure. One should only end up buying the watches they genuinely like and adore. Style cannot be forced. You don't need to buy any type of watch that you do not want, if they are one of those hype pieces, and if you like them, go for them. If you like a Pox, or some other Seiko watches, and some Hamilton khaki feels, just go for those watches. If you enjoy them, and you think you can utilize it, then go for it.